And welcome back to the Cisco Broadcast TV studio. We are so glad to have you with us on the live stream, coming to you from the Rai in Amsterdam. We've had an amazing Cisco Live 2024 so far. I hope you've been tuning in to all of the phenomenal content that we have been bringing your way. If you have missed anything, not a problem at all. We've got it all ready and we've got it all hosted for you. Whenever you'd like to go take a look, all you have to do is head for ciscolive.com. You'll find all of the sessions, the innovation talks, keynotes of course, all of the interviews with great executives and all of the fantastic demos as well. We have just come out of a fantastic innovation talk with Javed Khan and Sebastian Lusser on reimagining customer and employee experiences using AI. We've heard all of these promises around AI for so long. Yes, great experiences, but a lot of risk as well, and this is a lot of what we heard there in the innovation talk. We're creating these amazing experiences that help us to reimagine work and the workspace and customer experiences as well. It is a new era of hybrid work today. Collaboration technology is so mission critical to your organization, to all of our organizations. It's how we keep people productive. It's how we keep people collaborative. It is the future. You don't want to fear it. You want to embrace it and everything it can make possible. We can work effectively from anywhere utilizing AI. AI is a game changer for the entire industry. We are so grateful to Sebastian and Javed for bringing us that great story. And right now, we're going to head out into the world of solutions where Rob Boyd is hanging out to talk about AI for WebEx. Hello, my friend.
Hey, how you doing, Steve? Yes, we're talking about AI for WebEx, and specifically I want to get into some details. We had Mags here before. Mags, we talked about different ways AI was making its way into WebEx, and you were giving me some specific instructions around WebEx Spaces, where we typically deal with a lot more text, and so we can do a lot more things with it, but what is it about Spaces that's important to understand for AI, and what are you going to show us?
So what I'm going to show is how the AI assistant is going to help us just catch up on what you've missed while you've been away for a portion of time, okay? So you and I have been at the show for a few days, the messages are backing up, right? Wouldn't it be great if you had an assistant that would just help you catch up quickly? Okay, like when I come back from vacation or after a weekend, or even just like being away for a few hours, the utility that I get from this feature is just unbelievable in terms of time saving. So I'm just going to demo some of that for you today. Okay?
All right, we'll go ahead and turn around and do that. I'll narrate a little bit while we'll come around here. Yep, okay, we'll do it that way.
Some of my unread spaces, so you can see the messages are building up. I'm going to come in here into Project Firefly, okay? So this is a project that I'm actually running, and there's been a lot of activity in here since I've been at the show. But now what you'll see is I have my AI assistant here, and I'm just going to get my assistant to summarize the messages for me so I don't have to read them all, okay? Now, you will definitely have seen the summarization in meetings and across the portfolio, but we're bringing this to messaging as well, and this is going to be available this month. So here we can just see a really short snippet of what's been going on while I'm at the show, and then I'm just going to keep going, right? So actually, let's see what people are talking about in the book club. I need a book for the plane on the way home, so I'm going to summarize this and see if there's anything of interest to me. Oh my God, horror, no way. So nothing of horror, okay, instead, maybe I'll need something that I can download on Netflix instead or something like that. So I'm going to summarize this space as well. Now, the one thing you might notice about this one is that the conversation is all in Spanish. So the summarization is actually done in Spanish as well. Of course, we support languages other than English for some of these AI capabilities also. But my Spanish is actually not very good at all. So one of the other things that we've launched today, and it's going to be available very soon for our users, it's in trials right now, is the ability to translate messages. So in my settings, I've actually set that English is my preferred language. So I'm going to enable translation. And then here you go. Everything translated from Spanish, so I can actually see what's here, what am I going to think about downloading for the plane home. So, like, I hope you can see from this just how quickly it was to go through all the spaces, summarize them and catch up. We have it in meetings as well, right? So I'm just going to flip over. I've also been missing meetings while I've been here. So this is a meeting that happened. Quite a short meeting, only about 15 minutes, but that has been summarized into 2 paragraphs and 3 action items. I maintain that I consume this in 90 seconds.
Well, this is funny, because so I depend heavily on transcriptions, especially as a person who's always trying to ramp up my knowledge really quickly. I'm interviewing and pre-interviewing a lot of people sometimes, and I'm using WebEx to do that. And it's the transcriptions, and especially now the ability to bulletize and use AI to kind of lay that out for me, that's a game changer. Because I just need to nail it down, because usually there's, 10, 15 minutes of niceties up top, then you start getting into the meat, and then there's some action items, and invariably, even if I'm in the meeting, I tend to use this a lot, because I like to come back to it and pick up the inflection that I may have missed, previously or something else because I was focused on communicating at that standpoint. Do you have any personal ways in which you're starting to use WebEx to kind of, with your own workflows?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I love about the meeting summaries is that a lot of the meetings that I'm in, the agenda is actually quite varied, right? I do live in Ireland. A lot of meetings that are carried out might not necessarily be in my time zone, so I rely a lot on recordings and catching up. So these automatic chapter generation is just a game changer. For example, this is a meeting talking about the setup of this booth. One of the features that I'm really passionate about and work on is translations. And you'll notice that there's a chapter here on translations. I'm going straight to that chapter. I want to see if what they're showing is what we want to show and if it is showing all the great features and capabilities of translations. So I've actually cut down, I'm only watching 20% of the meeting back. So between the summaries and just actually watching the chapters, it's absolutely wonderful. Just such a game changer. And then obviously, just using the summarization capabilities in the spaces as well is real time saver.
Well, one thing I've done quite a few times is I will do the summarization, enter the bullet points, and for quite a while I've gone back, and even in beta when we're playing with this stuff, and I'll go back and I'll compare. I go, do I agree with how they summarize this? Because it takes a while for me to build trust in it, but then we're getting that quickly now, and so we're turning around and it's becoming very useful for us. Mags, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, guys. If you get a chance, stop by the WebEx booth, rented lips. Got to check on the battery supply. Be sure and stop by. Mags, anyone here will be happy to help you. A lot of great stuff. Thank you so much. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, 3:30 in the afternoon, Rob. Mr. Tongue, Mr. Lips, and Mr. Brain don't seem to want to cooperate with each other. I think that's sort of the nature of the beast. Well done. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much to Mags for walking us through that fantastic demo. Really appreciated. All right, as promised, very excited to have Javed Khan with me here in the studio. Hello, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
How's the show been so far? You're in constant demand. How did you find time to come in here and talk with me?
It's been fantastic, actually. Yeah, but I couldn't miss this one. This is the fun part.
You
right?
knew I was here.
Yes, I knew.
Steve's waiting for me.
This is fun, though. Yeah.
Exactly, and we like doing this.
Yep.
This is fun, and we get to reach out to everybody who's viewing from around the world as well. Javed, in this session, by the way, well done. You talked about a hybrid work study for EMEA during that session. What are some of the most interesting takeaways for you?
I think the thing that surprised us the most was, there were two metrics actually. So one was the number of employers mandating or asking employees to get back to work. That was a little higher in EMEA than other regions. But more importantly, we found that about the same number of employees actually wanted to get back into the office. That's not the case in all the other geographies.
No, not at all.
So that was a surprise, but they were all still equally tentative because they were worried that the office is not ready for them. And that's because, when you do if you think about the office before COVID, there is a natural apprehension that, oh my God, if that's the office I'm going back to, how is hybrid going to work? So while employees want to get back in the office, they think that the campus is not ready. So that was a very interesting finding, and that is why we've been working on completely redoing our hardware portfolio.
And all the way around the world, I mean, we hear about it again and again, that the idea of going back to the office being an attract, right? I mean,
Yes.
I'm not going to say it the way everybody else always says it. It's become too pat. But yeah, we don't want it to be the mandate. But we're rethinking the nature of the office. Why do you think here in EMEA, people are more eager to get back than in other parts of the world? Do you know why that is?
I think there is a aspect of, I think each country and geography has their own nuances. I think specifically in EMEA, what we were hearing was that it wasn't so much that you'd be more productive, but it was more to do with collaborating with other employees. And that, I think, when most of us were remote, or we have a mix of remote and in-person, is not as effective. So that was one of the primary reasons why employees wanted to get back in the office. Now our technology has to change to allow for that,
Right.
because even when 80%, 90% of you might be back in the office, there's always going to be some people remote. In fact, one of the data points that we've seen from our meetings is that 98% of meetings will still have a remote participant. And that is where the nervousness that I talked about earlier is coming from. Employees are wondering, if they were to get back in the office, what happens if I have to bring somebody in remote, or I want to whiteboard with somebody who's remote? So technology and workspaces have to evolve for that, because people are going to come back to collaborate, have that informal interaction. That's a little harder when we are all remote.
Absolutely, and I think that's why we've been hearing, especially in the keynote yesterday, for example, we've got to bring AI up to the current standard of creating success, creating outcomes for people, and what is part of that? Security and reliability. If we do want to create those remote engagements, we've got to make sure that they're connected at all times and ready to go for us when we click that button, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the customer. We have to keep reminding ourselves, everything we do is customer focused. We are a people first company. How do we help our customers with their hybrid work challenges?
Yeah, so I think everything we do here inside the collaboration unit is actually about that end user, making sure we make their jobs easier. So everything we build has to be focused on that. I think some of the things we've realized is that even with things like AI, every feature, every new workload we've added to the Webex Suite has to be seamless. If it gets in the way of you doing your work, people are not going to use it. So that's why with the Webex Suite, what we realized was that, for example, during COVID, it was a lot about meetings. But we interact, we communicate in so many different ways, right? Sometimes it's just a good old-fashioned phone call.
Sure.
Sometimes you want to record a video and send it out to your team. So that's why we've been adding new tools into the suite so that people can communicate in various different ways. And that's really what drives what we are building. Same thing with AI. If AI gets in the way of doing things, people are not going to use those features. It has to be seamless behind the scenes, making your job easier. And that's the fundamental design principle that we've applied to everything we've built in the last few years and going forward with AI.
And this is the storytelling part of it as well, as everybody fears what AI might do. It's going to take my job. No. Will it take some jobs? It is going to take some jobs, but will it leave us in a better place eventually? That's usually what technology tends to do. We have found that technology that doesn't achieve that goal, what does it do? It falls by the wayside after a certain period of time because we realize it's not worth any further investment of either our time, our money, or any of our energies, right?
Yes. I think one of the, I heard somebody quote this, I don't want to, I can't remember who it was, but they said a developer who is using AI is going to be more productive than one who's not using AI. And that I think applies to every profession, right? Somebody who's using AI to be more productive is going to be more productive than somebody who isn't. And that best answers the question, the concern around AI, is it going to impact my job, is it going to take my job away? You know, if you're not using AI in your job, the chances are somebody else who is going to be more productive than you are.
That's right, that's exactly right. Let's talk a little bit here about the elephant in the room, right? So we talked about generative AI, and we had a great conversation yesterday about with Agnarak about what's going on in Gen AI. How is this collaboration with AI leading customers to more successful outcomes? We just touched on it there. Let's expand a little further on that.
Yeah, so I think I demoed some of these features earlier. I think AI is going to make us more productive. So if I were to miss a meeting, I don't have to sit through an hour-long recording of the meeting. AI can summarize that for me. Sometimes I go into a meeting and I've met that person a few times before. AI can help me prepare for that meeting better. So we believe that AI is going to make you a lot more productive, a lot more effective. And the other approach we've taken is it's not just about the language intelligence, large language models that everybody's talking about, but it's as much about audio and video. So imagine an agent interaction inside a contact center. AI will help you maybe predict better that this customer is getting anxious or is unhappy and get them answers faster. Or maybe you can route that agent to a better, route that customer to a better agent who can solve that problem better. So I think you'll see AI in all aspects of collaboration, on all aspects of our job, allow us to get more productive and more effective. And those are really the use cases you'll see light up across the Webex Suite. Yeah.
I love that. We can really support people in this. We can create a sense of optimism. It's the way we talk about it and the way we show people what it can do for us. Javed, you are always in constant demand here at the show. People are pulling you this way and that. I am so grateful that you found an opportunity to join us here in the Cisco TV studio.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure.